And welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. It's Tuesday, and it is August. What are we at, Schlags? August 12th?
August 12th, baby.
Yep. Well, on Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours on deals on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP races. Maybe you want Josh Allen, maybe Pat Mahomes, maybe even a Joe Burrow. You can crown your champion in August. Stick with it. You like the Chiefs, maybe the Ravens. Throw some action in there. Maybe you want to go across to the NFC and take a flyer on someone out there, maybe like the Rams, get some good value on them. So mark your calendars. This is your day for hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. Visit FanDuel app, the FanDuel app today, and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Right off the jump today, we're welcoming our guy, Bill Bender, fresh off the AP poll being released. We've got the coaches in now as well. AP poll in now, Bill. They were hoping for the 1 versus 2 matchup. Penn State comes in just ahead of Ohio State. Texas is number 1 again. So just a little switcheroo right there. Surprised to kind of see that at all.
More surprised at the gap between Texas and Penn State and Ohio State. You know, I thought Penn State was actually really close to being number 1, which I would have had Ohio State number 2 there. Like you said, it messed up. I had a perfectly good story setting up number 1 versus number 2, Texas and Ohio State. Now I have to make a few corrections to that. It'll still be one of, if not the greatest season opening week 1 game of all time. But I was a little surprised, Bobby. Not surprised that Penn State's number 2, but the gaps between the teams.
Let me ask you this, Bill. It goes back to our coaches poll, and we were discussing how people could see Penn State having a veteran quarterback being back. And we talked about, what was it, Bob? Like, of all the teams in the top 7, only 1 guy was returning a starting quarterback.
Well, in the coaches, it was Penn State was the only team in the top 5. You had Clemson and LSU in the top 10, which still hold
3 out of 10
true in this. Yeah, because LSU is 9. And then Clemson is 4. So you have 2 in the top 5 now, with Clemson being bumped up, which I'm a fan of.
Right. I think, you know, the teams with the experienced quarterback does matter. You know, Klubnik and Aller, obviously, when you have 3-year starters in there, it certainly helps. And I think the intrigue, and I know you guys are going to talk about it on your show today, is the intrigue for me is places like Notre Dame, where is CJ Carr or Minchie going to be the guy? Ohio State, where there's prolonged quarterback battle going on there. Michigan, I think they'll have Bryce Underwood under center. And then you get into Alabama naming Ty Simpson tomorrow. These teams that are, well, Michigan probably not as high as the other teams, but that have national championship aspirations with new guys under center, and the pressure that comes with that makes it very interesting.
What is Oregon going to do? Where are they leaning? Because, again, now we're back into the Big Ten. You got Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon right there. And again, Miami does have a veteran quarterback. So really in the top 10, it's kind of Miami, LSU, but still new to the system, Clemson and Penn State. So kind of 4 out of the top 10.
Right.
Where is Oregon fit now in this? Speaking of just the Big Ten, as they're looking for a quarterback, and they've had 2 veteran quarterbacks that transferred in. What are they going to be doing now in this offseason going into this season?
Well, I'll rope in Georgia as well. I think the 2 teams in the top 10 that I've probably talked about the least this summer are Oregon and Georgia. I think Oregon with Dante Moore under center. You mentioned the quarterbacks the last couple of years. He made it work with Bo Nix. I mean, look what he's doing in the NFL. Made it work with Dylan Gabriel. You know, a guy that was a veteran, played a lot of football. So I'm going to assume that Dante Moore waiting a year in that offense should help. And then, like I said, we haven't talked much about Georgia at all, which scares me a little bit. You know, they do have Gunnar Stockton under center. I think they're going to be a little bit better at receiver. You guys know that Kirby Smart plays that underdog card more than, you know, I play bad hands and hold 'em, I suppose. But he does do the nobody believes in us thing as much as anybody. And I think Georgia's just kind of under the radar. Maybe it's because they don't have a huge week 1 game. They're playing Marshall, and the schedule's a little easier. But I do think Georgia's being a little bit undervalued as far as maybe not undervalued, but under the radar more than usual.
The Notre Dame piece you mentioned with CJ Carr, A friend of mine's a big Notre Dame fan, and he was worried, talking with, some people up there before the season. I think they anticipated CJ Carr winning the job, but from what I've heard out of there, he's kind of underwhelmed thus far. Like at Ohio State, there's some inconsistencies. There's two guys battling, and I think by watching, I feel like both guys could lead this team to a national title. Are you more concerned if the battle rages on, like at Ohio State and the competition's going, versus the situation at Notre Dame where it seemed like it was CJ Carr's job to lose, and he maybe hasn't separated himself enough?
Right. And Minchie's definitely in the mix there, which to me, I don't know if it makes me worry. I think with Notre Dame, the last couple years, they've played portal roulette with quarterbacks. And Sam Hartman was good, but maybe not great. I thought Riley Leonard was very good in spots, but there were some limitations in the passing game there. And now you have a choice between Carr and Minchie, two quarterbacks that are going to be tasked with taking Notre Dame to that next level. And I know they made the national title game, but they want to win one of these things. And like you said, if it's not Carr, Minchie could push for that. I'd be more concerned with the Notre Dame situation than I would Ohio State, just because whether it's Julian Sayin or Lincoln Keenholz, whoever, like we said last week, they're getting to throw to a really talented group of receivers, can grow into that position. I guess the only immediate concern for Ohio State, and you could say the same thing for Notre Dame, playing top 10 opponents right out of the go. So whoever is the quarterback has to be good.
Yeah. Let's take a look in the next one, right? So the next kind of tier, you got Arizona State, Illinois, South Carolina. Teams finished fast, right? They finished well. Then you got Michigan at 8-5 last year. Now they're all of a sudden 14, starting a brand new quarterback. Where does all that buzz hype come from for them to be 14? Where SMU had, they went to the college football playoff last year, them being in that mix. And who do you expect out of like that next 10 to make a push into that top 10?
Well, I think the Michigan, there's a little bit of the unknown, even though the last time we saw them, they played very well with a young roster in the bowl game against Alabama. Especially there's not Mason. They did that without Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant and some of those guys on the field. I think one of the reasons for optimism around them is they do have a strong running game. And Bryce Underwood, there are going to be ups and downs. I've said all along, I would look for him to have a season a little bit like Dylan Raiola last year, where there'll be some glimpses of, okay, this is why this kid was a 5-star, but there'll be some head-scratching moments. And they play at Oklahoma in week 2, and we'll learn a lot about Michigan there. South Carolina is the team that's very interesting, though, with Lenore Sellers, a guy that is getting some Heisman hype and is going to have the numbers. But you know what? They play Virginia Tech on Sunday in week 1, right before Notre Dame, Miami. And I think that's going to allow all of us to sit and watch Lenore Sellers a little bit and Dylan Stewart on the other side. They're a very interesting team that could push into that first tier of the SEC this year if they show some more consistency.
Bill, what are people like nationally talking about this quarterback battle with Ohio State? People locally asking about it. Nationally, I'll have some conversations, but it doesn't seem like there's the urgency around it. Is there just a belief that the rest of the roster is that good, and like Ryan Day's track record with quarterbacks? Because it doesn't seem like Ohio State's won. This is kind of their one big question mark, but it doesn't really seem like it's that big of a concern, just more of a reveal of who it will be.
That's a great point. I mean, and I've been around the program pretty much through the entire college football playoff era, and there's been some really glamorous quarterback battles. You go back to, what was it? Braxton and Cardale and JT Barrett. And then, the Burrow, Haskins, Tate Martell one. And, even CJ Stroud and Kyle McCord was still getting more attention than this one's getting. And I do find that interesting. And maybe some of it is, maybe there's an assumption from national guys that maybe aren't as close to it that Julian Sayin's going to end up being the starter. But at the same time, I think, the talent around them, the running game, the offense, I think whoever is that starter is going to be under that microscope so much in week 1. And almost, I think some of it, Bobby, is that quarterback is probably the undercard, at least attention-wise, not ability-wise, attention-wise, to what everybody's looking forward to with Arch Manning in week 1.
Let me ask you this, Bill. Looking at a quarterback position, looking at the depth, looking at where the defense is, looking at the skill positions that Ohio State has, the tight end position. The offensive line, though they don't have a ton of starting experience, do have a lot of experience against the best, right? That run really helped them. I think gave them a lot of confidence. What is the number 1, 2 factors that you're looking at as far as whoever wins this job has to be able to do what?
Well, I think just getting the ball out on time. One of the stats I always look at with quarterbacks, it isn't the throwing the ball down the field like more than 20 yards or throwing a bubble screen. It's can you pitch in that 10 to 19 yard range? And I always look at that on Pro Football Focus to see who can be really good there, because you're going to have deep shots to Jeremiah, and you're going to have deep shots to Ennis and Tate, and is it Max Clary, the tight end that they have too? Did I say that wrong? Did I say his last name wrong?
I think it's just Claire.
I didn't want to mess that up. I'm going to get roasted for that.
I always think about Eclair.
Yeah, so you got a tight end.
Honestly, I'm hungry right now.
See, quick correction, and I should have just asked right out. Anyway, that's another option that you have. So getting the ball out on time, that's number 1. And, not turning the ball over. Ohio State quarterbacks in the Ryan Day era have been amazing with their touchdown to interception ratio, and those are killers. So when you play Texas in week 1 and there's Anthony Hill Jr. and Colin Simmons and Michael Taffy in the secondary, those are all first, second team All-American types. It's just protecting the football, getting it out on time.
So, Bill, we look through the AP and the coaches poll, and a little bit of differences. I mean, there's a congruency in the top 10 as far as teams, a little bit different shakeups, a couple spots here and there for guys. You get in that back half of it where, it looks pretty good, I think, until you get to probably 15, and then you start getting some variation. Like Oklahoma's ranked 18th in the AP, and they're not even ranked in the coaches. And, some different things like that where A&M's ranked. They're ranked a little bit lower in the coaches, just different things. Have you ever done and looked at a study? I know you like to do this. You brought up, and maybe this is next year because we're too close to the season, but to see which poll ends up being closer at the end of the year.
That's great. We had an article yesterday where I believe the stat I had was 52% of the teams that are in the top 25 the last 5 years end up in the top 25 at the end of the season, at least in the AP. I would love to go compare the AP and coaches poll too. Because like you said,
Richard, do it. That's what you do. You're the vendor.
That's next, right? Well, no, what I'm working on today is I'm actually ranking everybody 1 to 136. So
that sounds terrible. Never mind. That sounds terrible.
It's amazing, honestly. Stacking up these MAC teams toward the end. But inevitably, when you post that, here's a quick aside, that somebody will say, you have Coastal Carolina in a terrible spot. What's wrong? I'm like, come on, man. Like, you almost have to rank the Power 4 and the Group of 5 separately there. But anyway, I got sidetracked there. I am curious to see how that is. And where you hit it, Bobby, was 16 to 25 is probably the hard part, because those are the easy ones. Like that, a lower percentage of those teams may finish in the top 25 because we are on some level throwing darts.
Yeah, you don't suspect Oklahoma State to just be terrible when they're ranked in the top 25 at the beginning of the year. My question looking at this AP poll is like, where is Vandy? You got this quarterback that's out there. He's doing all the things. Tennessee is now theirs. Tennessee's 24. They beat Alabama last year. No, I'm just kidding. And that's the point. How much weight do you throw in to these polls, Richard, when you're like, do they really matter at the end? And I'm talking more now that you have a 12-team playoff and eventually when they go to 16 and it's about seeding, how much emphasis is it really being in the top 25, where if you can just win your games, win your conference, and you're going in and maybe you get a bye or a home game or not, like how much weight is there for that?
Well, I love the polls personally. And I think for me, it's part of the charm of college football, just knowing that, when you guys played, I think to me, I always start that argument with when somebody beats number 1, and if it's, they can storm the field, do whatever they need to do. But when you have that number 1 next to your name, there's an extra responsibility in college football. And I know you guys played on teams that we're ranked number 1, number 2, number 3. There's definitely an extra responsibility there. I think the AP pool does a really good job of stacking up the top 10, if we're honest. 6 and 7 of those teams are right every year. Now you would say it's not that hard, but it also leaves itself for, we kind of bring this conversation full circle. Like, can Penn State really live up to being number 2? Or are they going to be one of those teams that's number 10 at the end of the year? I believe I saw that stat yesterday where Michigan started the season number 2 a couple years ago. Ohio State started the year number 2 last year, correct? And they both won national titles. Now there's this, is it Penn State's turn? I find that really fascinating. This is probably their highest ranked team since they had LeVar Arrington and Courtney Brown and those guys. So the expectations are through the roof in Happy Valley right now.
Ironically, I think that team with those guys going 9-3, like, it wasn't a successful season, really.
Didn't they lose to Minnesota on like a field goal? I think that's what started their down. Yeah, they were like really highly ranked. So, we'll see how they wear that. I think Ohio State's grown accustomed to wearing that. When you play there, and it's been for 25 years where you're wearing top 5 labels and those kind of things. We'll see who can wear that. And, to me, the playoff rankings and the AP pool, they have nothing to do with each other because it's so far into the season that we already know who the good teams are.
All right. Final question, Bill. I know you got to get out of here. He's got NFL big important meetings with sporting news. Thanks for spending some time. We had a question about Florida State not being ranked. I know they were bad last year. Mike Norvell trying to turn that ship around. I mean, is there a sense that you feel like they could maybe work their way in the ACC?
I think they're one of the more intriguing teams of the season because I don't think they're 13-1, and I know they're not 2-10. So what number do they hit in the middle? I can't believe they went 2-10 last year, right? Like, I still shake my head at that. But at the ACC kickoff, when you talk to their players, they use the word desperate a lot. And I think they were literally desperate to talk about anything other than going 2-10 last year. So, you start the season with that Alabama game. That's a huge game perception-wise for both programs. Can you guys imagine the reaction or what you want to talk, Schlegs, about what I'm going to but if Alabama loses that game, what I'm going to be writing on Sunday morning. So, but, I think those are things to consider. With Florida State, I do think they'll get back to a bowl game, but if they go 6-7 or 5-7, they might be looking for a new coach.
Yep. That'd be a tough one. Bill, we appreciate the time. Hopefully you're not going to get in trouble for being late to your meeting. Thank you for spending it with us. We appreciate you, sir.
Hey, no problem. I'll talk to you guys next week. Appreciate you.
That is the great Bill Bennett of the Sporting News taking some time with us. He had a meeting today. I've got XM at noon today, which I won't
inches
really
around.
Yeah. No, there you go, Schlegs. We got some more talk. They're in the dog days of practice, Schlegs.
Yeah.
And guys are grinding right there about everything. Yeah, no question about the MAC. You got to wait till next week. I'm sorry.
I know. It's okay. I had a good one. Everybody's in there talking about the MAC, and you guys are absolutely right. You got Toledo, you got BG, Ohio. Buckeyes play them at night for some reason. Miami, Ohio, what are they going to do? But again, Toledo's very consistent. Right. Eddie's there, man. Let's go.
Eddie's a BG. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with more of the Bobby Carpenter Show after this.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, Schlegs, and welcome back in, if you will. Joined by Bill Bennett of the Sporting News, does a great job for us on Tuesdays. AJ's a go for tomorrow. Already contacted him. Head of the game, Schlegs, trying to schedule up this week, make sure that we're good to go. In the dog days of summer right now. Oh, by the way, if you're watching, please like, subscribe, leave your questions, comments. We love the activity in the chat. Leave your comments as well there. We go back and get them and chat them up, talk to them during our tailgate talk towards the end of the show. kind of in the dog days of camp right now, Schlegs. They started, reported last 2 Wednesdays ago. They had that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Took Sunday off, went Sunday, took Monday off. Then they had Tuesday through Saturday, took Sunday off. Monday, Tuesday, now today, kind of getting into the grind a little bit and like trying to find that energy for that. As a strength coach there, Schlegs, as someone who's been around it, you've been through as a player, been through as a coach,
Yeah.
trying to find some of that energy. You get some guys that are nicked up and nothing serious. Ohio State's been pretty healthy after the Edric Houston scare, but everybody's feeling good. Well, not feeling good. They're healthy-ish, but you're beat up a little. You've been doing this now for a while. Heck, they only have one practice a day, but kind of reinvigorate and recreate that energy to get some things going, to get that competitive juice.
Yeah. It's funny. Jay and I, who's at the Armory, it's camp mode, right? I mean, people are coming in at all different hours, and that's what you do. I mean, it's just camp. And you know that camp's terrible, but you love that it's terrible. You love that you're going out there and learning ball and being able to just smash people's faces in. And yeah, your head's going to hurt. Your neck's going to hurt. Like, it's just, are you willing to do it when you're absolutely feel terrible? You still going to throw that body in there? Like, I love it, man. It's just another way of just like making it tougher. And that's part of it, right? Again, when you have a younger team, Bob, you have a bunch of veterans who've been there and done that and understand what camp is and when they got to bring it and what they have to do, most importantly, to prepare to be able to stack days. As I've said many times, greatness is the accumulation of great days. It's what do you have to do to be able to prepare your body and your mind for another great day. You got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to take care of it during camp. You got to get in the tubs after practice. You might have to get some soft tissue stuff. You might have to do an extra band stretch, but you got to bring it, and you got to bring the same juice. And that's really where you want to see young players elevate. And if they don't, it's now that falls on the responsibility of the coaches to show them and lead them and bring them. Last year you saw JT and oh my gosh, I just totally blanked out. Yeah. Don't you CTE me in this chat. Anyways, you saw some veterans go out there, okay, and go out there before practice to kind of work on their craft. Some younger guys were brought with them, right? Like, hey, come on, follow us, do what we do. Are they doing that? Are they doing it on a consistent basis? Well, if they're not, then it's on the coach. And Coach Locke, right? Coach Bailey, bring the juice every single day. And yeah, if you're a coach, you have to invest that time, energy, and effort to make sure that your guys are doing the things that they need to do. And if they don't got it, that's where I remember, Bob, you asked me on the show this morning about somebody that I would train. He would come in kind of juiceless. And I'd literally be like, dude, you're looking juiceless. And I would just run like this, clear, boom. And I would just like pop him in his chest a little bit. I was like, hey, take some of that. I got plenty more. Where that came from, buddy. You know, and they're just like, oh my gosh, you like this? Like, you're like this all the time. I remember G. Scott was like, I love how you coach us. Are you going to be like this every day? He's like, that's what I look for. I'm like, don't even think about looking for it. It will be there. And he's just like, okay. And then like 6 weeks later, he's like, you are the same every day. I was like, I know, I told you because I care about you. And until you do it for yourself, I'm going to do it because I know that's what you need.
Yeah. Well, you're going to provide that juice, legs, provide that energy. Interesting nugget. Like we were talking about Coach Laughlin here in the running back battle. And not battle, they're not battle, competitions. Guys going out there having friendly competitions, trying to see where they're going to get in the pecking order. And what's been pretty awesome to see, James Peoples has been really good. CJ Donaldson, I think, has surprised a lot of people. A little more juice, maybe not quite as elusive. He's a taller guy, Schlegs, high hip runner, but fast and pretty physical. He'll get downhill and pop you. But Bo Jackson has been someone that I think has really surprised and flashed. Yeah, it's been fun to watch him. He's a guy that I think they're going to probably have to get on the field. Now, I don't know how much you're playing true freshman against Texas in the running back room, but Bo Jackson has been someone who has showed that he's kind of a five-tool guy. Now they've got to tighten him up as far as, accountability, responsibility, just being a young guy, like,
yeah, for sure.
Indoctrinating them into the culture, grooming them, if you will, the term I think that you like to use. But he's been very impressive early on.
Really impressive, has a lot of ability, and that's to your point, Bob, of how do you keep him growing and learning and executing? And that's again, we talked about the quarterback position. You talked about reading the mail. When a player can go in and say, hey, this is what we do in this play, but then the defense throws something at them that's a little bit different, a little wrinkle, and they're able to read the mail and still, hey, that was my hot route, but because they took this away, this now became that hot route, or this was the primary receiver on it, but because they gave me this look, I'm automatically going there, and they're able to execute with minimal board, talking points, etc., and they can still execute at a high level. Like, that's the maturity and maturation that you want to see. Same thing with the running backs. Like, it is so imperative as a running back, and Maurice and I had a really good conversation about this because I was equating it to a linebacker play. It's like, man, one back, one gap. I know my responsibilities. Two backs, they motion, down and distance, all these things. Splits of the guards. Like, I'm reading all that, knowing where all my fits are to allow me to go play faster. And he was talking about that along with, hey, Trevion Henderson had a great run on a sideline, made a guy miss, and then boom, ran into a guy and like triple extended, like lowered his pads and then extended, brought his power to the defender. And he's like, you're able to do that when you know what the blocking scheme in front of you looks like and who is the one person that you have to beat. Oh, and if the defense brings a blitz, that completely changes, but I'm able to dissect all that in a split second, understand what I got to do with my pads to be able to make it a good gain. He's like, that's where football acumen, right? Football literacy starts to come in, and it allows you to play faster and more physical. And that's just a younger guy that needs lots of reps. That's also why it's imperative that every rep that is out there that's on the field, honestly, in my opinion, is your rep, because Coach Locke doesn't have to coach you to coach you. He can coach Sam or CJ or Peoples. Those are all reps that he's coaching me. Now, when I get out there and go do it, I got to do it at a high level. That's how I look at it.
I like it, Schlegs. One other guy everybody's championing, old Turbo Rogers, and bringing him to the house. Schlegs got a lot of speed, a lot of juice there. Not the biggest dude in the world.
Why though? Why are they championing? Because I also want to ask you another question.
I guess in the chat, everybody's fired up on him.
You know what? I mean, he's a fast guy, but again, he's a fast guy, but you need you need somebody that can go and get you a 4. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna press pause on that only because I like Bo because he's a bigger, thicker dude. And that doesn't mean there's not a place for that, but it's not even on my radar when I look at this team. It's kind of like people, CJ, and Bo right now. That's kind of how I'm viewing it. Doesn't mean that Sam can't grow. Doesn't mean that Turbo can't grow. Those are the 3 that I've seen at practice, and I'm like, okay, I really like that. And also part of that, guys, is you got to be able to block in the passing game. I mean,
oh yeah.
Well, there's a guy that comes in. This goes another thing.
Thunder cookies, Schlegs.
Thunder cookies. But again, hey, if that man Peyton came in and James met him, and I was like, all right, good job. But like Peyton came in and hit him, and this was a great. Again, I don't look at negative stuff. I look at, man, I want to champion that. And Peyton was coming full steam ahead, and he hit him. The only thing he did was he got a little tall in his pads, and he replaced his hands, which was really good. But then he has to anchor. It's almost like when you talk offensive line play, he just had to anchor and set his butt down and run his feet on that contact. But again, that's what you like to see in camp, because those are reps that you don't get to imitate all the time outside of like, okay, this is the drill, guys. We're working on pass pro. But when it's live and you don't know where they're coming from, it's a completely different animal. I'm going to ask you this, Bob. Do we have time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Talk about the offensive line, because I'm hearing and I'm seeing some different shakeups. And again, this is a good thing, guys. Like, you got to play your best 5. What are you seeing? What are you thinking as far as the competition on the offensive line? Because we've seen some really good things. Obviously, Austin is one of those 5. Okay. Yeah. And Carson has been playing really well. Luke Montgomery's been playing well. Tegra's a big guy. You got Daniels. You got kid from Rice.
Oniagwa.
But it's Ethan. I just call him Ethan. Also, AKA, don't they call him like the Eclipse because he's just so big?
Yeah, he's got big legs, big meaty
legs.
Then
you got Daniels out there, again, a transfer from Minnesota.
You got to take a break. You asked me a question about the offensive line. I'm going to answer the question about the offensive line, and we're going to get to an incredible play by our own Trey Henderson here coming up next. But first, parents, athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouth guards, trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouthguards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber. They 3D print that bad boy right to your grill for more protection, better comfort, max performance, and clear communication, so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Got more of the Bobby Carpenter Show and this offensive line coming up next. Welcome back in here to the Bobby Carpenter Show. Schlegs, you asked me about the offensive line, the battle.
Yep, did.
You know, Ryan Day has commented on this too, and he said some things out there, Schlegs, about how this offensive line battle has been evolving. And I think everybody just kind of assumed that Ethan Onianwa was going to be that left tackle. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. And Ryan said he thought that Philip Daniels has been playing really well. He's already said Austin Sarabell is going to be one of the starters. I think Carson's going to start at center. Seems like Luke Montgomery playing pretty well at guard. Tegra's playing pretty well at guard. Padilla could be a really good center if they need to move Carson.
He's a wrestler.
Yep.
Padilla.
But when you start looking, there's kind of a tackle position open. Does that mean that they move Austin Sarabell to left tackle? Does that mean Philip Daniels plays left tackle? Does that mean Ethan Onianwa wins the job? But it's something that Ryan's talked about, and not to bang on Ethan at all, but those other guys have played well, and that's the purpose of competitions and training camp. When you go out there and compete, to see what these guys. To see what they're bringing to the table with everything. And so that's a huge piece of it, Schlegs. It's obviously to see what's going on there.
100%. I don't think you guys quite understand. I hope you do by us talking at ad nauseum about competitive excellence. But competitive excellence is what has allowed Ohio State to have sustainability at the levels at which it is. It's something that's taught January through December. The best players are going to play. And when you're in a camp, it's not that you dislike the guy that you're competing against. You champion for each other, but you want just to be better. And it's graded out. It's open. It's complete transparency as who graded what, who didn't grade. You got a question, ask your coach. And it's not your parent ask your coach. It's you ask your coach and then justify why you didn't like what you did. I remember back with us, Bob, like we used to go in there, Fick would grade us a certain kind of way. I'm like, what the hell are you grading me like that? Like, this is what I read. This is what you said. This is what I did. How is that a no? That should have been a plus because that goes into being a champion. And we all want those things. There's like nuggets like that. But when you're in the midst of, and again, it's out of respect for everybody that the best 11 play. And the best 11 only happens through competitive excellence. That way, when we talked about the juice earlier, Bob, every drill you go through, every time your number is called, the thing is, will you make the play? And it goes back to, is my mind, my spirit, my body prepared to when called upon, I can make it? And you have to test those qualities because come August 30th in the shoe versus Texas, that's not the time to have competitive excellence. It starts back here. And when you go out there, like Juicy J, every time I go out, I'm going to show out because I've been trained and I am prepared.
Yes, that is the competitive excellence, knowing that. And so they're going to be working through this offensive line thing. They've got, a whole slew of staff of coaches trying to figure this thing out. I feel good about it. I think they're going to be able to be fine with it. But it just may not look how we anticipated. And that's what training camp is for. Everybody gets so nervous. Well, what's this guy playing? He's not there. Ryan came out and said it. Those aren't my words. Those are his, of saying, hey, playing better than what we thought. And because of that, we feel good about this situation. We know we love Carson. We love Austin. Like there's some guys that are kind of fixed, but a little bit of that, like you talked about, is getting your best 11 out there and everybody watches it on film. They all see it, so they all know it. So you can't sit out there and put somebody in the game that doesn't deserve to be there and doesn't belong on the field. And so
Too
those
much
are
is riding on it, man. Too much is riding on
too
it.
much is like the guys all see it. They want to see the best players out there. All right, we got our headlines coming up next. Talk about some new coaches, new coach being hired at Ohio State. Maybe drop in some nuggets here, Schlegs, about what some of the guys are doing in the pros, if you will, at the NFL and preseason. Some guys are making some plays, which is pretty awesome. So we'll preview some of that as well. But first, I want to tell you guys about a premium Buckeye brand. Our friends over at Backer, bckr.com. Go check them out. They're a premium Buckeye brand for premium Buckeye fans. The wind, the rain, the cold gear, they've got you covered. They've got unbelievable hats and coats and jackets. They're going to have you ready to go this year. So go check them out, bckr.com. All of the features you're looking for. I've got them. They've got everything you want, man. They look good, and even more importantly, they feel great on you. So, and every portion of every purchase goes back to Ohio State for the NIL for the student athletes. So use promo code all caps BOBBY at checkout for free expedited shipping. Again, that's Backer, bckr.com. Go check them out. We've got our headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show. If you're looking to scale your marketing, let the Lake Spur marketing team be your trusted marketing agency. They have a broad range of experience. Regardless of the industry, they can help you out. Lake Spur Marketing prides themselves on building partnerships. They're confident they will deliver the results, but more importantly, it's about building those relationships with their clients. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in their partners. Visit them at lakespurmarketing.com today. All right, Ohio State hired a new coach, Schlegs.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did.
Another defensive backs coach, Josh Boyer. You want to toss that up, Pat? Going to be coming to Ohio State. Defensive backs coach. He was in New
DC
England.
and Miami.
Most recently, DC and Miami, but he has ties with Nate Ebner, Matt Patricia. He was on the staff in 2012 when I was there. He's a guy from Heath, Ohio. He went to Muskingum College, Schlegs, so he's an Ohio guy. Matt Patricia said he's the best upstairs that you're going to find, meaning his ability to diagnose and see what people are doing and understanding how to attack it and how you're being attacked. And then also, Schlegs, being able to communicate that in a calm manner, because that stuff, bullets are flying. People are going crazy, losing their minds up there. And Boyer, if Patricia says he's the best, well, then I'm going to take him at his word for it. Maybe?
Yeah. No, I'm listening. Can you hear me okay, Bob?
Yeah, I got
Muskingum College. No, I was thinking about this because
Muskingum.
No, man. Hey, man, that's in Muskingum County, Big Buck capital of Ohio.
Muskingum County.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. That's how I call it. Don't worry about it. That's how I call it.
It's a different place. There's a place in Michigan called Muskegee. Like, it's Muskingum.
I didn't say Muskegee. I said Muskingum. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I've been saying that for years. You never have ever. Hey, you know what? The Haycocks, they went to that college.
Daryl Hazel went to that. Daryl Hazel went to Muskingum.
Man, that place is just popping out coaches. Who else from Muskingum?
Daryl Hazel.
Our very own. Bob, DC, head coach at Michigan State.
Yeah, Mark D'Antonio went there for a semester, I think.
So, hey, and here's the thing. This is not – I just want everybody to understand this. This is not a knock on who we have present. I hope everybody understands that. It's still competitive excellence, and you want the best. And, again, now that it's unlimited coaches, like why would a coach who's been in the league, been at DC, that kind of experience from Ohio, want to come back and do this And it's not just for giggles, right? It's because he believes in Matt Patricia. He can add value. You never know where this is going to go. And heck, this is how Brian Hartline started for himself of like, hey, I'm helping out. And then boom, he moved into a position. Guys move and come and go at Ohio State because it opens you up for bigger jobs. And maybe this is like a great aspect. Heck, Chip Kelly left as a head coach of UCLA, came here for a year as our offensive coordinator, is now an OC back in the NFL. Guys, great move by the Buckeyes. Somebody that you trust, somebody that's going to add value to not only the players, not only Matt Patricia, but also the other coaches on the staff. Awesome.
John Glenn, also Schlegs from Cambridge, Ohio, out east in Muskingum County.
Muskingum.
It's not.
No, what you just said it.
Muskingum.
Muskingum.
There you go. Not Muskegum.
Muskegum. Like gum. Muskegum.
Muskingum. All right, that's it for our headlines. We've got a little tailgate talk coming up next. We'll talk a little bit about what some of the Buckeyes are doing in the league and answer your questions coming up next. My gosh, the chat is live. The chat is where we connect with you. We appreciate all the comments in there. Almost all of them. Some of them get a little bit aggressive with some of the folks, but we love everybody as part of it.
Hey, we're just super positive. Jackie Moon once had a great quote. Said, "Everybody love everybody." You know,
everybody love everybody. Schlegs is sorry for mispronouncing it for the last 20 years.
For sure.
It's our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck Schlegs. They do a great job for it. Let's throw up, listen, we're going to hype up some of our former Buckeyes now that are playing in the NFL. JT, let's go with Trey first. Opening kickoff, opening play, Schlegs, of his NFL career. Kind of reminds me of you in the preseason, like your opening play. Very similar, so impactful. Let's let it roll.
Look at him.
The speed of which he has is out of this world, man. Puts his foot in the ground. Opening kickoff.
I like the one when somebody on the X machine put that like kind of side by side with his Texas 75-yard screen pass. And I was like, honestly, it's the same type sideline. Like, okay.
Oh, yeah. They always say up the stack and out the chute. That's what
there was another play that he had in there when I was alluding to earlier where I think it was a pass out of the backfield. He kind of made a guy miss, and then boom, went lower the boom on a dude. Actually tapped the dude out. Like the dude tapped out. Might have gave him the old concussion. Should have brought his feet. Anyways, but it was good. Trey's playing well.
Trey played really well, and then JT had a really nice start to his career with the Colts. If you want to throw that up there, with everything that he was able to do, and so he's got some great stats that he was putting up in those games all over the field, man. Pressuring the quarterback, looking good, feeling really good about what he did. He had a sack, forced fumble, 4 pressures, 90.4% pass rush grade, 21% win rate. JT to him all out, and that's what I think people expected out of him when they got to that next level.
Yeah, and Pat said, does he look skinnier to you guys? And I don't know, like that photo really doesn't do him justice. He was
talking about Trey, not JT.
Oh no, Trey's always been about 204.
Yeah, he's never been like a super thick guy. Like he's tough. He'll throw on you. I mean, he's live, but he's not the biggest dude that you're going to find.
He does a great job of playing within his pads.
Yes. He leans for, dude, he gets behind him. Like he doesn't take a lot of shots. He gets behind his pads. He delivers contact. Does all of that in a big way. All right, Schlegs, you got one more? Or do you want to hit your
no, put on the silver bullet. Let's go.
Silver Bowl of the week. Our guy.
Pitbull's on his stomach. Actually talked to him at practice, and it was just like, hey, you got to be that guy. Because I mean, listen, man, his smile reminds me a lot of like Cardale, but like he's a dog out there.
It'd be Jermaine Matthews, folks, for those you don't know.
And like little pit bull, right? Him and Brandon, just pit bulls on their stomachs. Yeah, silver bullet of the day. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him. And that's what you want to see, man. Hey, when you have a corner that's getting silver bullet of the day, Bia, and you're going against that type of competition. Yeah,
That's in America.
You're going against that type of competition in the wide receiver room, and you're a silver bullet a day. You're a difference maker. It's exactly the type of growth that you want to see from a young man who's going to do a very, very good job outside. But you also got IGB. You got old dog, dirty Trey Sanchez. I wish
Sanchez.
I mean, I love it. I love Devin.
He's
I love
freshman.
that name.
Yeah.
I know. I like it, but he's old dog, dirty Devin Sanchez.
Old dog, dirty Devin.
I would have said all sorts. I would have all sorts of random
great
names.
play a couple of practices ago. Jermaine had 2 really nice plays. We got silver bowl of the day. Schlegs, they throw go balls like it's going out of style at Ohio
They do,
State.
man.
I mean, so many deep shots. Our DBs are run all the time. And Jermaine broke up 2 nicely throw ones. He was in great position, stayed calm, stayed poised. Love to see it. That's how you get better at playing the deep ball, man. You got to practice it because there's anxiety when that ball's in the air. If you're trying to track it, find it, not panicking, our guys do it as well as anybody. That's a kudos to Guerreri, Walton, Taver Johnson, Nate Ebner, all the guys that are back there, Buckeyes. So
many Buckeyes, so many coaches. On that Saturday one that we went to, Bob, I got to get out there this week, but I love just watching the fits. And just so you guys know that what we're watching is there was a play linebacker, and then I saw it later that he made the adjustment. And there was a lot of darkness, and he kind of went up to the line of scrimmage, but it's like, I don't even need to hesitate behind the darkness. Just go where the light was, and the ball is going to find you because you're playing to the light, because that's what a running back is taught to do. And it was literally a little bit of a hesitation, boom, missed the tackle. Next time, fill it, went to light, tackle in the hole. I'm like, dude, and that's what you want to see. That's the growth, especially when you're in practice, because that's how games are, guys. You're going to have to make adjustments to things that you never practiced for within the foundation of your system, and you got to go out there and execute in front of 110,000 people.
What do you say, Bobby? How's he doing? Any news on the leg? Who are we talking about up there?
Oh, he's talking about Edric.
Edric, he's fine. He's back there practicing. He's been practicing, I think, since Tuesday. Ryan said he was going to be back maybe Wednesday. Yeah, but he's been rolling. Edric's been in there. He's good. Like you said, the team's pretty healthy. They might be like beat up just because that's how camp is. But, I mean, it's a pretty healthy situation for everybody. And hopefully it continues to stay that way. Knock on wood. All right, coming up, we'll wrap up the show with the parting thoughts of one Anthony Schlegel. All right, Schlegs. Floor is yours.
Hey, 30 seconds. Hey, at the Armory, very simple gym rules. Encourage others, train hard, have fun, respect all, shirts on, no tripods. Pretty simple. And I would say it's probably the same thing for our group chat because we love answering your questions. But again, encourage others, respect all. Let's talk Buckeyes. Let's talk national. That's what we do. Number one thing is, respect everybody. Leave comments, leave questions. We want to be able to answer those through lenses of dudes that played football at a high level, also coached football at a high level. And that's what we want to, share with you guys. Keep it classy, San Diego.
Good chance to see a little bit too of it and try to give you a little light on this day, Schleich. So thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. Love you. And we'll get caught up tomorrow with our guy AJ on the Bobby Carpenter Show.